Okay. Hey, friends. Welcome back to the Thriving Alcohol Free podcast. We have in the house with us today the most viral content creator that
Oh,
I know. Oh, my goodness.
just a
How did
couple
I
ice
get
cubes, that's
couple
it.
ice cubes and the world was set on fire by some ice cubes? Literally.
Excuse me.
Literally is what happened. Okay. Katie of Soberish Mom is here today. If you guys are not following her, well, you should be. I hope you already are, but please go follow her on Instagram, Soberish Mom. Her website is soberishmom.com. Katie is the voice behind Soberish Mom, a blog and social media accounts dedicated to mindful drinking, which I really want to get into today,
Mm,
helping give people a judgment-free place to look at their drinking habits and become more mindful about their alcohol consumption. So, Katie, I'm super excited to talk about this today. I mean, you talk about
Thank you.
alcohol-free cocktails and non-alcoholic drinks, and you do product reviews, and your Instagram is just so much fun. You were a guest, you were a presenter at the Mocktail Summit. It was so wonderful
It was
to have
such an
you there.
amazing event you did. It was so wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being a part of the inaugural event. And I cannot wait to record with you again for
Yes,
2025. That's going to be
on
fun.
my
I don't
calendar.
know. What are we doing next year? I can't even imagine what you're going to be doing. You did the best ice cube tips last year. So I don't know what we're going to be doing. We'll have to figure that out. But okay. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
And it has just been so fun watching your account just skyrocket. Like
Thank
it's
you.
just it just took off and it's been so
Oh,
much fun. I'm
thanks.
just over here in Kentucky cheering you on
Oh, you're so sweet. Well,
wholeheartedly.
you were such an inspiration to me from the very beginning, and thank you so much. And Instagram is amazing. It's where I've built such an amazing community. I mean, the messages I get from people
Mm.
about what is mindful drinking, or hey, I've started following your account and I've cut back my drinking in half, is like
Oh,
that's what keeps me going. So I'm
oh,
just, yeah, I'm really grateful to be connected with so many amazing people like you and just strangers from all over the world. It's like there's something really beautiful about the connection and community I've found through kind of mindful drinking and Instagram and everything. It's been
isn't
great.
it amazing? It's so
Yeah,
different, right? Like, cause
very different.
your background's corporate America. Am I
Hmm.
right?
Yep.
So this is
Yes.
very different than
Yes. Yeah.
corporate America where you're getting these people dropping in messages like,
Yes.
how you're inspiring them, right? I mean, did you get that in corporate America? Was anybody emailing you like, "You've inspired me in that last Zoom call"?
I know. I know. I tell my husband all the time, I'm like, I've never had a job where I felt like maybe it was inspiring people. Like,
Oh,
I hope Soberish Mom is inspiring some people out there. And
it is.
I've never had that feeling before. And so
Mm.
a lot of the time I have imposter syndrome, just like, who am I? What am I doing here?
Oh,
But
oh,
I'm very vulnerable about sharing my journey. And I think that allows other people to feel very vulnerable and share truly where they're at.
yep.
So it's been, yeah, amazing. But my background is mostly in, I did do quite a bit of marketing, but event planning, high-end restaurants, hospitality.
Wow.
That's where I got a lot of like my wine training and things. And so that I was always around a lot of alcohol.
Interesting.
And yeah, when during COVID, when I was having my second child, I decided to become a stay-at-home mom, and I stayed home for 2 years, which was amazing. It was such a blessing. I loved it.
Mm.
But that's when my drinking really kicked up, which was kind of funny because I I was already around alcohol so much, and I was, always kind of a heavy drink. I thought of myself as a normal drinker. Now I'm like, that was pretty heavy drinking.
I follow
But
you. Yep.
really, a big change for me was when I became a stay-at-home mom. And as you know,
Mm.
for being a mom, it's like your day is long, 14 hours days. We have very little family help where we are. And I was just with two kids all by myself all day. And suddenly at 5 o'clock, I was like, reaching for the wine. This is
Oh,
like
yeah.
earmarking the end of my day. This is my reward. I've heard you talk about it a lot. It's like it's that reward system that you're kind of trained into. And I was very ingrained in like mommy wine culture on my Instagram account. That's like all I saw and stuff. And yeah, it just kind of crept up. So that's kind of was the backstory to what got me to where I am now. Yeah.
Isn't it crazy? Right? You think like being home, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was for me the same thing. Like it was that defining, like, okay, I'm having my wine now and I'm kind of clocking out, even though like, okay, they're not in bed yet. But like, okay,
Right.
now I can relax. Now I can like give
Yes.
them a bath or whatever.
Yes.
Now I'm
Yes.
like into the second second stage of the day, we've moved
Yes.
on to the evening with the
Yes.
children.
We're in the evening stage. Yep, the
On
evening
the
shift,
evenings.
that second shift. Even if you're working full time, then you come home and you got kids full time. It's like there is no easy path. You're always on. And the
Mm,
beautiful heavy load of motherhood is
it's
very
wonderful.
intense. It's
It's wonderful.
wonderful.
It's
It's my favorite
wonderful.
part of my life, but it's
Yeah.
also the most stressful part of my life. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
it was certainly something I turned to. And then last January, I mean, I'm barely a year in. I
Oh,
just felt like crap. And I knew my drinking was sneaking up. It was right after the holidays. And so I went on like a 10-day cleanse. I started on a Thursday, so it would span 2 weekends. I had a very strong association with drinking on the weekends.
wow.
And I know a lot of people don't feel great right away. It takes time to kind of detox or they feel awful for, a while. I mean, I felt amazing.
Really?
My whole life changed within 2 weeks. And during those 2 weeks, I really educated myself for the first time ever about what
Hmm.
alcohol does to your health. I listened to the podcasts. I read articles and books, and it was like the veil had been lifted.
Wow.
I never understood how horrible alcohol really was for your gut health, your brain health. I didn't know the links between cancer and alcohol. I didn't know. So that's always one of my first tips for people starting out is like educate yourself because you will be shocked. I guarantee it. I actually have a good friend and her husband. He's a doctor, and he was like, I've never heard some of these studies or
Really?
stats. Yeah.
Really?
And he's like, wow, we're going to try. And they're in the middle of like a 40-day cleanse right now. So it's just great. I think sharing information, just like accounts like ours, is just important to get the information out there and people can choose what kind of lifestyle they want from there.
Totally. I love
Yeah.
that. Yes, people can choose. Like for me, I
Yeah.
feel like I have no judgment. Like I know you live a
Mhm.
soberish lifestyle and I
Yeah.
love that. Like there's room for moderating. Moderating didn't work for me. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Maybe it will one day. I don't
Mhm.
think so. You know what I mean? Like, but
Yeah.
I am so thankful that like there's a place for everyone in
You're
this
so sweet.
community.
So yeah, that's so
There's no
sweet.
judgment. It's not all or
Yes.
nothing. For some
Yeah.
people, it's like you really can moderate. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yay. I wish I
Yeah.
could. I wish I could. Cause there's days I'd really like a glass of wine.
Yeah.
you know? But
I get it.
but
I get
but
it. Yeah.
yeah, to be able to moderate and yeah. So okay, so how do you decide when I know like some people have asked you like
Mhm.
when do you drink or like because I know
Yeah.
you drink a ton less, obviously. But like,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I have cut my drinking back by about 90%. I track
That's
my drinking with
incredible.
the Sunnyside app,
Oh
if
yeah.
you've
Yeah,
used
yeah,
that.
yeah. I've heard of them. Yep.
Yes, the data has been really helpful for me to see
Mm,
like, hey, you saved your body 40 drinks this month. I was
wow.
like, what?
Yeah.
And how many calories you've saved yourself, how much
Mine would be like
money you
40 bottles.
yeah,
That's
I mean, when I
fine.
first started, I was like, you just don't really realize until you see the numbers in front of you. And so that was incredibly helpful for me. And so, I always tell people, like, I can't tell you when it's going to be a good time to drink or what relationship you should have with alcohol. It's a very
Yep.
personal, unique journey. I
Totally.
don't think that any amount of alcohol is healthy. I don't think going to McDonald's is healthy, but
Right,
I
right.
still go occasionally.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
I
Yep.
just believe in moderation.
Yep.
And I think the truth is that like sobriety is going to be a non-starter for a lot of people when they're approaching cutting back. That's kind of how I always felt. I was like,
Yep.
oh my God, I have to go to AA or something. Like, I don't know what to do. That's
Yep.
kind of what led me to starting the account was just hopefully opening that door to sober curiosity. Like, I never intended to drink as little as I do now. I drink 0 to 2 drinks a week is kind of my average. And so you'll be surprised at how much my goal was like to cut back half. And so now you'll be surprised. But to your original question, when do I decide it's okay to drink? I never use alcohol as like a crutch for stress and anxiety
Mm,
the way I
that's
used to.
good.
Because the
That's
truth
good.
is, doing the exact opposite for you, which is again something I learned when I started educating myself. But
Mm,
I try never to like lean on it or turn to it during times of sadness, depression, anxiety.
that's
It's
good.
just that's just going to make it so much worse. And I try and kind of plan out if I'm gonna be out at a dinner
Sure.
party and there's tons of really nice wine, I'm going to have a glass. Or if I'm at a
That's
date
great.
night with my husband, if I don't have my kids, if I don't have to get up early, those are generally the times when I will, kind of give myself permission to have a drink. And people ask me, like, do you feel guilty? And I'm like, I don't. I don't
No.
feel guilty the next morning. I don't feel shame. I feel like
That's
proud of
great.
myself that I
That's
have
great.
gotten to this place.
So great.
And so I think that while I do think sobriety is absolutely the right option for many people and certainly the healthiest, it's, risk reduction is also an amazing way to find balance in your life.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
kind of how I approach my
Yeah.
relationship with alcohol.
I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah, and I felt the same like, I felt like the word sober, like sober when I
Uh-huh.
just wanted to moderate. That was my
Yeah.
goal, was like,
Yeah.
I just want to be able to drink less. I just wanted to drink less. And then as I
Yes.
took my little break and, took a couple weeks off, took a month off, I was like,
Hmm.
I just felt so good. Like you felt so
So
good.
good. Yeah.
So for me, I just, don't. But at the same
Yeah.
time, I'm like, boy, I love that because like, even talking about like healthy eating or whatever, like I made a
Yeah.
drink on for Instagram or whatever, and it had Dr. Pepper, and had garbage
Oh,
in the drink. I mean, it was, it was disgusting. This was like pulling up to McDonald's.
yeah. Yeah.
But it's like every once in a while you have a cupcake,
Yeah.
like it doesn't mean you're not on your healthy living journey or you're not
Right.
drinking your protein shake. So
Yeah.
I can completely relate to,
Yeah. Well,
like,
and I was
yeah.
thinking about your podcast you did with Izzy and how she was
Mm,
saying she only drank on planes or in airports or something.
yep.
And it's kind of this funny thing where for some reason, for me, having the option to drink
Yeah.
helped me drink less because I would do
I
these dry
understand.
cleanses. I would do dry January. I would say I'm never going to drink again, and then I would fail. I would give up, and
Yep.
I would feel like a failure. Or I would make it, and I go
Yep.
straight back to my old habits. So giving myself even the option to drink, and a lot of the times I'll have like a day, like with my Sunny Side app, like, okay, it's Saturday, I have 2 drinks planned, and I just don't because
Isn't that
I don't.
amazing?
It's the freedom from thinking about alcohol all the
Yep.
time is really nice. It's
It's
very
so nice,
nice.
isn't it? Do you feel,
Yes.
yeah, it is. There's a freedom. There is an
Huge freedom.
absolute freedom of not
Yes.
drinking. Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
not
Yes. And I
having that.
think probably because like we run these accounts, it probably seems like I'm thinking about it and planning a lot and I'm doing a lot of work around my gray area drinking. And it's like, it's really not like it's really easy for me now. It was hard in the beginning. And
Yeah.
that's something I'm very honest about is like, had setbacks. I had to put work into it. It wasn't like I just did a 10-day cleanse and there we go.
Yeah. It felt great. And then I never thought about it again.
Yeah.
Easy
No, it
breezy,
was
lemon
hard.
squeezy. Yeah, it was Soberish Mom.
And then I made an ice cube and that's the rest
And
of
then I
it.
made an ice cube and I became famous.
Yeah, it's not easy. But yeah, and so I think the journey, something I'm honest about in the beginning is like it's gonna be hard. You're gonna have setbacks and try not to come at it from a place of shame or judgment and being harsh on yourself. It's like just be curious. Why did I drink more than I said I was going to last night? Why did I drink when I said I wasn't gonna to at all? And learn from that. Continue to be curious and just continue working at it. And a lot of people say, well, isn't it just easier to just be sober? Like, why are you doing all this work around it? And I like, I'll go back to what I said before. It's like, for some reason, giving myself the option, learning
Yep.
how to moderate, knowing like, okay, I could, I can do whatever I want. I can have a glass or whatever.
Yep.
Eventually
Yep.
it helped me kind of create a system of accountability
That's
and
great.
those long-term change. So yeah. So I
That's
think
so
if there's
good.
anyone out there who's considering it, the best thing to do is just try and keep trying and keep tracking, keep writing a journal,
Mm,
and just know it might be hard in the beginning. You're going to have some FOMO and it's, just gotta work through it. Like anything,
yeah,
change is hard. It just is. So
that's true. No, that's
yeah.
very true. That's very
Yeah.
true. Yeah. But just having that, I think like, it's funny you say like, that you give yourself the freedom, right, to drink or
Mhm.
whatever, like that it's like you drink less, right? Because
Yeah.
you're like, okay, if I want to have 2 drinks, this
Mhm.
Saturday night, I can or whatever.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel the same in the sense I'm like, the alcohol is always going to be there. Like it's
Yeah.
not like Total Wine is closing up because I'm not drinking right now. I mean, they probably their sales are probably down a lot, but not really because I still go in there and buy the non-alcoholic stuff. But do you know what I mean? Like I kind of feel that
Yeah.
same thing, in the sense of like the alcohol's always there if I want to go back to it.
That's
If I
a
don't
great
want
point.
to,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? But it's not
Even
like
if
it's
you're sober, it's
going
like
anywhere.
the choice is there every
The
single
choice
day.
is there. Yeah, like
Absolutely true.
so yeah, but yeah, I have such respect for that. So, okay. Um okay, what were we going to talk about? I can't remember what we're gonna talk about. Oh
So
my gosh. Okay. Um So what advice maybe would you give to somebody who's like just, maybe like somebody who's like leaning,
I'm starting
yeah,
out.
just starting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, a couple of my first few things are, I did start with a dry cleanse. Like, give your body the chance to experience what it's like to feel dry, whether that's for
Mm,
15 days, 30 days, have it span a couple weekends, because I think in society it's very ingrained in our culture to drink on the weekends. So, like, give yourself a break and then set a goal, have a plan. If you're not sober, you can't count days because you're always going to
mm,
be starting over. So make a plan, whether you're using it on a little calendar or a journal, you're using an app like Sunnyside. Say, okay, I want to cut back 50%, or I want to cut back 75%, or
yep.
whatever that number is. Make a plan and just keep working towards it. And tracking, that's, so I didn't know like what habit tracking was, but that's habit tracking, tracking your habits. And when I did that, I started tracking other habits too, like silly stuff, like making my bed in the morning. Like, I'm
Really?
terrible about that. And so I would do that. And I was starting this new like medication, like face, like tretinoin or something, like retinol.
Oh,
I
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah, yeah.
really horrible
Yes.
about tracking when I was using it.
And look, your
So I did
skin is
that.
glowing.
Oh, thank you. Well, that,
Yes.
less drinking is nice.
Yeah.
And so I tracked all these things, and I got in the habit of everyday habit tracking. And then part of that, of course, was drinking. And then, so that's, yeah, make a plan is kind of my number two. Cleanse plan. Three, of course, nightly replacement, like the ritual of drinking. So important. That 5 o'clock happy hour. That's, your recipes are amazing. That's why I do the recipes, recommendations of products, of
Yep.
like, because the first product I tried, non-alcoholic wine from the grocery store, was very disappointing.
You mean
So,
the grape juice in the wine bottle? That was
yes,
disappointing to you, Katie?
exactly. Yes. Yeah. And so I was like, how, there has to be something better. Of course there
Yep.
is, but that took time. The non-alcoholic beers are amazing. They're just so close to the real thing. So find that nightly replacement, fancy glassware, fancy ice. That's, a lot of what I talk about. So have your nightly replacement and then get busy. Like, I could
Mm.
not believe how much free time I had when I started drinking less. Right?
Isn't that a shock? It's
Shock.
like,
You don't understand how much time it's taking from you. It's stealing so much time from you, and your evenings, your hangovers the next morning, your brain fog. Like, I
yep,
became a highly, highly productive person when I started drinking a lot less. I mean, it was just
yep.
incredible. But boredom is kind of the enemy of moderation and sobriety. I
You're
find,
right.
like, when I'm in social settings, that's like the easiest time for me to not drink. It's when I'm bored at home, and I'm kind of like, do, 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 or we're on vacation and I'm kind of bored and, we're just kind
Yep.
of hanging out. It's like, get busy. So
Mm.
finding plans during those times you're most likely to drink, from 4:30 to 6:30. That was my time, is like, book a class, go read a book, take a walk,
Do
find a friend,
something.
talk to your friends about it, and stay busy. It's like, now's a great time to start a new hobby. That's part of why I started writing, started doing the blog. It gave me an outlet,
Wow.
to talk
Wow.
about and
That's
fill
what I
my
was gonna
time.
okay, I was gonna ask you, yeah, so what do you do in that time? Now
Yeah.
now you're busy running an Instagram account.
Yes, yes, yeah. Now we're just crazy busy. And I think that was part of it too, is I was with my kids, and it was like, I was with them all day and I love them. It's wonderful. It's also like, can be a little boring playing Candyland for the 15th time. Like, let's have a glass of wine.
Like, "I'd like this ladder to go right to the bar."
My
The
God,
little
it's
what's
like,
the little ladder? What's that ladder called? The
yeah.
Candyland ladder.
So that was the real struggle for me, was being
Mm.
at home from 4:30 to 6:30 with my kids and being like,
Yeah.
how am I going to fill this time when I was like kind of drinking, la, 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 that was my
Yeah.
activity. So in the beginning, that was really hard. We did a lot of outings. We did a lot of going places, just
That's great.
getting out of the house, go for a walk, things like that. Cause it is, when you have kids, it's like, you can't just go to like a yoga class at 6 o'clock. You got bedtime routine. So it's
Yeah.
hard to find ways to fill that time. So yeah, I was taking content, writing a lot, and we
That's
just
great.
left the house. We just got out of the house, and that was. And then once I formed those new habits, now it's easy to
It's
think
a
about.
lot easier, a lot easier.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. How
Then
old
you
are
get
your
into
kids?
3 and 5.
Oh,
Yeah,
they're little.
they're really
They're
young.
little.
Yeah, they're babes. Yeah, they're babies. So yeah, yeah.
Okay, so is your 5-year-old, is he in kindergarten?
He starts in the fall.
Oh, so they're home.
Yeah,
They're
they're home. Yeah, well, so now I went back to work,
okay.
like last summer. So kind of right when I was starting this journey, I started this amazing job. I work in PR and social media, so that's part of it. The social media stuff
Gosh.
is there, which is great. And then I started working full time, got crazy busy. That also, I felt like I was able to handle more, not
Yeah.
drinking.
Yeah.
So they're in preschool, and then they'll start.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll start school this fall. Yeah,
Okay. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
yeah. I know.
Wow. I remember
You're
those
because
days.
yeah. Well, yeah.
My girls are 16 and 22. So
Okay,
different,
I
such
was
a
like, I know
different
one of them
stage.
is in her 20s. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay, and
she's getting
16. Okay.
married. Yes, she's getting married
Yes.
in like 6 weeks
Exciting.
or 5 weeks
I
or something like
cannot
that.
believe it's so soon. Oh my gosh!
It's crazy.
Congratulations. That's
Thank
a
you.
lot. It's a lot.
I don't even know what is happening. Because just yesterday I was taking her to preschool and I know everybody says that like it goes so fast, it goes so fast.
No,
Everybody says
no.
that, but like I can't even like I can't
Yeah,
I'm going to start crying because it just goes so fast.
it does. It really
Yeah,
does.
and
Ugh,
Lily, my younger
heartache.
one just got her driver's license and now she's like I'm like a little birdie, mom. I'm going to fly out of the nest soon. I'm like, "Oh
Oh
yes."
my gosh, she's
Oh yeah, she keeps saying it over and over now when she goes driving.
that's
My little
hilarious. Oh my
birdie.
god,
Yeah,
she's
my
a
little
birdie.
birdie. Uh-huh,
Your
the little
birdie. Oh
birdie's
my gosh, ready
yeah,
to
go.
go.
I'm gonna
You're like,
clip your
no,
wings.
stay.
You're never leaving. You're never leaving. No. How can I figure the other day she tried to leave and I took both the sets of keys. I'm like, you're not going anywhere. You're not leaving. You're not leaving this house.
Oh my
I don't want you to
gosh,
leave. Okay, all right. Well,
that's
let's
so
talk
sweet.
about what do you drink when you're not drinking? Okay, so or
Um,
do you have like when you go out to I mean, you have such experience obviously in restaurants and hospitality. So when you go out, if there's nothing on the menu,
oh
is there
yeah.
something in particular that you will ask them to make for you, or how do you
Yeah.
handle that?
Yeah, I will say I'm very lucky in Seattle because the non-alcoholic scene is incredible here.
That's
Like,
awesome.
amazing spirits, multiple lines of spirits at most restaurants we
Really?
go to. At least almost always a non-alcoholic beer, or whatever. We
Wow.
have a couple local breweries in Washington that are making non-alcoholic beer now, so that's great. So I will say I'm very fortunate. But I actually was just at a
Great.
restaurant, and they didn't, and they. Most are really nice. There's
Yeah.
a couple. This one was an Indian restaurant. They had coconut water. So like coconut water,
Uh-huh.
lime, soda, lemon,
Perfect.
whatever,
Yep.
it's
Little
like
something.
easy. But at most restaurants you can get one of the favorite things I get is like I like a kind of bitter, salty, kind of will make,
Uh-huh.
emulate the layers of a cocktail. So grapefruit juice, soda, and I always put salt in it. And it's
Oh,
like a
yeah.
salty dog
Mhm.
kind of. And
Yep.
so I tell
Nice.
people to put salt or like use a salt rim for even like a orange juice soda. Salt and lime and juices and sodas, you're gonna go far
You
with that.
can't go wrong. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yes, or even like the
Yeah.
tahine
If
seasoning
they
like around the
haven't, yeah.
rim.
Is that how you say it? I've been saying tagine. Is it tahine?
Okay.
Oh
Okay,
my
let's
God, am I
can
wrong?
we can
You're
we
the
just
one who
have
taught me how to say Gießen. I was
okay,
saying
wait.
Dyson
Yes. Okay,
forever.
can we just have a let's talk here about all the things we've said wrong. Okay, yes. I used to say tagine, it's tahine. I used
Tahine.
to say Geisen, it's Gießen, right? I used to
Okay.
say free, it's no, I used to say fray, it's free.
It
Yep.
is free. I've
It
wondered
is
about
free.
that.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Uh Shirley, I used to call surly.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yes, surely. Okay.
Um Knudsen, the wonderful juice, I used to
Oh
call
yeah.
Knudsen. All of them. I've said every
I thought it
single
was Knudsen too. It's
everybody thinks
Knudsen. It's a hard
it's
K. Oh my
it's a hard
God.
K. So, yeah, Tethos wine, I was
Yes.
saying them wrong. Yes, I've said them
Oh,
all. Like literally, I feel like,
so
well,
funny.
we're just gonna say them all wrong, and then we're gonna learn. We just learning
Yeah,
as we
yeah.
go.
Yeah, I listened to one of your podcasts where you're pronouncing Gießen, and I was like, oh,
Because I said it
like
wrong
a
so many
year ago.
times. I said it wrong so many times, probably
I
on
love it.
Instagram,
I
that
love
I
it.
got a DM. This was way back when. Got a DM saying,
Like the
it's yes,
the phonetic spelling.
it's Gießen like the geese at the park,
The
kind of
geese at
thing.
the park. Oh
The
my God,
geese. I
that's
was like, okay,
hilarious. Yeah,
duly noted.
yeah, duly noted.
So got it. Got it. It is very fun.
Love it.
It's very fun. Yes, it's so fun because
Yeah,
there's so many different brands, but yeah, I can't keep up with how to say anything.
yeah.
Nothing. I say nothing right. All right. So yeah,
And now
tahine.
there's so many.
I
Yeah.
think not that
What's
I'm
like
like
your go-to evening drink? What do you love?
I am so boring. That is what's so funny is
Uh-huh.
I am the most boring person ever. Like
No.
I mean, like I'm not making fancy mocktails
Uh-huh.
at night. I'm not. I just like I'm so boring.
Yeah.
Last night I made something, I don't know if it was super boring. It was very good. I used I almost made like a mint julep, but I used
Ooh,
some elderberry shrub in
yum.
it,
Oh, yeah.
some non-alcoholic whiskey from Liars I put in
This is
there,
not
soda
boring.
water.
This is
That was well, okay, normally,
amazing.
and yeah, but like on a normal night, I love the wines. I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
to drink non-alcoholic wines,
Yeah. I really
I
do too.
that's probably my like go-to is like to
Yeah.
pour a glass of non-alcoholic wine.
Yeah.
And maybe
Me
I'll add
too.
all the bitter, add that or,
It
to like to bring it up a level. Even
Yep.
ones that are good, it's nice to add something to it. Or like I'll do
Nice.
the non-alcoholic red and Fresca and make like
Oh
a
yeah, I need to try
easy,
that. I saw that on your page. I was like, I need
and
to try that. I love Fresca.
it's just like the easiest sangria tasting drink, you
Yeah,
know? It's not,
amazing.
it doesn't take any, thought or anything, just have to buy the Fresca in advance. I bought a bunch of it because it was on sale. So I had
Yeah,
like 3 boxes of it or whatever. But
oh, I
yeah.
love it. I
Anyway,
love it.
yeah, Fresca. Yeah, back
Cute.
from the probably before you were born, we were all drinking Fresca.
Oh no,
It's
God, I
like
love Fresca so much. Oh yeah, no,
it's
I have
good.
a
Yeah,
case in the
yeah.
garage, so I'm like, oh, I gotta try that. Yeah, the
Yeah.
wines too, and I think it's that ritual of like that's what I used to drink,
That's what I
and
drank.
so
I wasn't a
that's
cocktail girl.
what I
Yeah,
go
yeah.
to.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I
Wait,
do a
same
lot
for
of
you?
RTDs. I loved like gin and tonics, but like just diet tonic and lime. I
Is
have
so
some
good.
non-alcoholic gins I like, but yeah, I'm simple too. Yeah,
Are you
it's
surprised? I didn't come from a, hospitality background. I was surprised how much sugar is in tonic. I didn't
oh yeah,
realize. Like, so
oh
yeah,
yeah.
like when you're saying
Please
like
do
a
drink
diet
it. Yeah,
tonic, I didn't realize. Yeah, because yeah, like I'm now reading I'm now
yeah,
reading labels. I had
yeah.
Dr. Brooke on the podcast.
Oh, I
I
love her
love
page.
her.
Yeah, I love her
Yes,
page.
and, like, she really helped me, like, I don't know why, it was like a light bulb moment of like, "Okay, you need to really read your labels, Deb." People told me
Yeah,
that forever, but, like, the sugar content,
the
I was not doing my
sugar. That's my problem with a lot of the RTD, the ready to drink cans, is there's like 20 grams of sugar. I'm like,
yeah,
dude, two of these is like 50 grams of sugar. So yeah, so
yeah.
I'm careful about that too. I've done a lot of reviews of like less than 10 grams a glass. Even 10 is kind of a lot. So
Is
like
right, right, you're like, yeah,
they
yeah.
all, they all have a lot of sugar in
A
them.
lot of
So
them have a lot of
yeah, I try
sugar.
and do
Yeah,
really low
yeah.
sugar. I've experimented a lot with monk fruit sweeteners,
Same, yep,
which
same, I use
I
Swoon.
love. They
Mhm, love
like
them.
it doesn't have that chemical taste that like stevia has. I think
Agree,
personally, like I just like it better, like a aspartame. Like it just is very clean and sweet. So I've been using a
agree.
lot of those. I
Yep.
do like a jalapeno or like a Thai chili sweetener, and I just keep it in the fridge and
Ooh,
it kind of crystallizes a little bit. But and that
just
in a
shake it
soda
up. Yeah. Oh,
all
yum.
week. Then I'm like, it tastes like a treat and it's 0 calories, zero sugar, just mixed with soda. So I do a
That's
lot of that
perfect.
too. Yeah. Yeah.
Throw in some amethyst and you're,
I
like,
love amethyst.
done.
I saw your recent post and I just did a post with them too. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with their
It's
stuff. It's
so
so
good.
good.
It's
It's
so
so
good.
delicious. Yeah, it's really delicious. So
And I love that it has, like, that little bite to it, it
yes,
just
yeah, it's
has
got the
that
kick.
a little
It's
kick.
got
Yeah,
it.
it's
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
yeah, that's what I missed. Yeah, was the
yeah.
kick. Yes, yes.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I feel like I could talk to you all day. Okay.
Oh, you too.
Um,
You too.
what has been okay, so do you wanna share what has it been like to go viral? To be completely like, your account has just gone completely crazy. What is that like? What is
You
happening?
have too. You've had so
Not
much
on the same level. No,
success.
not on the same level.
Oh
No, no,
my
no.
gosh. Well, ugh, I mean, I think what has been sorry, my lighting is kind of getting a little crazy right now. I'm in Seattle. It's like raining 1 minute, sunny the next. So
We're
it's
now having a
crazy.
sunny moment,
Yeah.
everyone, in
Yeah.
Seattle.
I'm
And to
so
give us 2
sorry.
minutes,
Come
it'll be
on.
cloudy again.
Yeah. Um, I think what's been the most like rewarding for me is one of the Ice Cube videos that went viral that had like, I don't know, 10 or 12 million views. The
So crazy.
voiceover was about mindful drinking and it was about why I
Mm,
do fancy ice and how having, the ritual of an evening drink without the alcohol, like celebrating your drink, whether or not there's alcohol in it, like that, to get that message out there just meant so much to me. It was like,
that's
oh my
awesome.
gosh, this is like reaching so many people and then getting hundreds of messages of like, this really resonated with me, or like,
Oh,
oh, I'm so excited to find tips for cutting back because that's what I'm looking for. So
that's
that's
great.
the most, impactful thing for going viral. The hard part is it can bring the crazies out too. Get a lot of crazy DMs, a lot of requests for feet pics, which I'm considering, but we'll
No.
see.
Stop. Seriously?
Oh my God. So yeah, creepy.
Creepy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a
there's
lot of
creeps.
creepy
Yeah.
stuff.
A lot of
Yeah,
creeps. Yeah.
I try and be really careful. Going viral also, like now I'm really careful about how much I put my kids on the account. Like I
Mm,
only now kind of shoot them from the side or the back and try and be
that's
really
smart.
mindful about how much they're on it because they're so young.
That's wise.
And
Yeah.
so I try and be careful about that. There's some weirdos out there. So yeah, but
Yeah.
you do part of running an Instagram account is like you get a lot of positive and you get a lot of negative too. And that
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
mental toll has been kind of a lot for me. It's been
Yeah.
something that I've had to learn to kind of cope with and
Mm,
to kind of try and ignore
yeah.
some of the really ugly things I get. But it's definitely the positive, beautiful messages I get are like tenfold, which is I'm so
Yeah.
grateful for. I always try and put in posts and stories and things like if you DM me, like I personally will be the one reading it. I see them all. I love it. It means so much to me. So thank you.
Oh,
And so, but I also have to see all the negative stuff too.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
there's a lot of trolls out there. And but overall it's just been so impactful to be able to, receive the positive for sure. And I
That's
try to
good.
really focus
Yeah.
on that too. So
Yeah, yeah. No, that's so good.
yeah.
And I love that that was the message of your video that went so
I
viral.
know. I
To
was
think
so
I
excited.
mean, really, Katie, that's so amazing that that was the overarching message of those
I
ice
was like,
cubes,
yes, I know
you
people love
know?
this ice cube, but also my
But
voiceover was on it because I had another video traveling with toddlers, and I had like a skincare routine that got a few million, and it was like, but that's not about really what my account's about. It's
mm,
like I try and keep a lot of variety and just authentic of what's going on in my life,
sure,
and so,
sure.
but for that one, I was like, oh, this is cool.
Oh,
This is really cool that so many
yeah,
people were
yeah.
able to hear that message. So yeah,
And to
yeah,
be of encouragement to people who are, yeah,
yeah,
who just
yeah,
found you, or just found this idea of like, wow, maybe I don't have to drink as much as I've been drinking,
totally.
because
Yes.
it's like it's a light bulb moment. Like maybe I don't
Yeah.
have to drink every time it's offered, or
Yes,
all the
yes,
time, or when I have
yes. Well, and
historically.
something that really appealed to me about your account when I first found you, was like I hadn't even started Soberish Mom. I was my personal account, and I
Oh,
messaged you months later, but I couldn't remember your name. It was on TikTok, and so it was like,
okay,
how you're just scrolling, and I was like,
sure.
but I remember this woman in her parka, cute, walking, and you were like, I'm just a mom who broke up with Chardonnay. And I was like,
Mm.
oh my God, for some reason that just like
Oh,
spoke
hit
to
you.
me. And I remember thinking about that video and
Oh,
thinking about like, you didn't call yourself sober, which is like not a bad thing, but it was like for
right,
some
sure.
reason it just the way you talked about it was very approachable, and that really
Mm,
appealed to me. And
mm.
that was like in January. I started my cleanse like a couple weeks later. So
Wow,
you were big,
that's
and it's kind of
crazy.
this crazy full circle thing that I'm on this
That's
podcast with you now because
that's crazy.
I was like, who is it? And then finally, months later, I found you
You
on
saw me in my
Instagram,
parka.
and I was like, oh, I was like, it's the Parker woman.
Parka mom.
And it was
What's
so
she
funny because
doing?
it was like Mocktail Mom. How could I not remember that name? But it was like, oh my God. I was like, that's her. And so that was, yeah, that's when I
That
reached
is
out finally. I was like,
so
hi,
funny.
Dad. I'm your
Oh,
biggest fan.
well,
Fan.
I'm your biggest fan. I am so happy for you,
Oh,
Katie,
you're
and
so sweet.
I just encourage you, like it's like we
Thanks.
have to keep our blinders on,
Yeah.
just to keep having fun, right? And to
Yes.
almost keep our fingers in our ears like I'm not listening. We can't
Yeah.
listen too much to the bad stuff people
Yes.
are saying, too much to it's like
Yeah.
just you're
Yeah.
just doing your thing, and I'm so happy for
Thank
you.
you.
You're
Thank you.
inspiring so many
Oh,
people,
thank you. Right back
and
at you. How
I
do
just
you get some of that negativity stuff?
yeah,
Do you?
nobody's ever asked me for feet pictures, but maybe it's the gray hair. Maybe that's it. They're like, her feet can't be that great at this stage in life.
You're so
But
funny.
no, yes, there's crazy people. I
Yeah.
mean, and I would, for me, more on TikTok. I don't know
Oh,
why.
okay.
I don't
Okay.
know why. For
Yeah.
whatever reason, I feel
People
like
are
there's
mean on
more
TikTok.
people are so, isn't it interesting? The comment culture is so incredibly different
Oh,
on Instagram than
oh my
TikTok.
God.
Night and day. You can post the same
Night.
exact video,
Oh,
night
I do.
and
Yeah.
day
Night and day.
response, night and day comments,
Yeah. There's
everything.
a lot more. I feel there's a lot more negativity on TikTok. Like Instagram is where I have this beautiful community and
Yeah.
people I've met
People
and
are
like messaged with.
nice.
And then TikTok, they're like, your voice is annoying. You don't talk
You're
like
like,
you. You're an alcoholic.
scroll
Like, you should shut
scroll
up.
on. Yeah, scroll
I,
on, people. Like, yeah, just like scroll on. I don't care. Like, why did anyone ask you? Is anyone asking you? No.
know. I know. They're like, I would divorce you. I'm like, okay.
Okay, I'll tell my husband. Let me
I'll
let me
tell him.
let me let me
I'll tell
tell
him.
him.
Yeah. He
Tell
had
him
to
you
think
said so.
twice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
How long have you been married?
oh my gosh, 7 years?
7 years.
7
Yeah.
years?
7
Yeah.
years, 2 kids. You guys have
Yes.
pets? Any
No
dogs?
pets, but we did just buy a house 2 days ago. So,
No. Oh,
2 days ago.
congratulations.
Yes, we just put in our earnest money yesterday. So it's like fresh off that.
You're like, okay, yeah.
So we're
Oh,
moving.
good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that'll be
Exciting. When are you moving?
mid May. Yeah, mid May.
Okay.
6 weeks.
Okay. Oh, that's very exciting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
got
in
a lot
time
going on.
for your
It's
son to
good.
be in kindergarten and yeah,
Yes, we wanted to get settled
be all
before
settled.
it
Yep,
started.
yep, have the summer. That's perfect. That's
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
Katie, I'm so happy for you. Oh my gosh, I just love you, and thank you for
Thanks.
being on the podcast. Thank you for being a part of the Mocktail Summit,
Oh, yeah.
and yeah, just for everything that you're doing on Instagram and in the social media
Thank
space.
you. Oh
Really,
my
really
wonderful.
wonderful with so many people. So
Thank you. You
love
too.
you, my
Right
friend.
back at you. Thanks so much, Deb. Thanks for having me. It was
Yes,
really
yes, yes,
fun.
yes.
Okay, cool. I hope my quality, I keep getting